Well, this is not the video and podcast we plan to make today, but we need to, and it is about you guys, not about us. Cheri has quite an amazing story to share, and one of the things that we decided to do when we created this channel was to make a difference in the world, and she discovered something miraculous that has been a huge impact in her life. I mean, huge, that we know will literally save lives. That's right, if you're watching this video today, it could save your life or somebody that you know. We don't make any money on this video at all. We're not related to this organization. It's a nonprofit that has found this miraculous way to deal with a very big issue that is troubling so many of us out there. And so I'm going to get out of the way and let Cheri tell her story. So please continue watching, because again, this could save your life or somebody you know.
Right. Yeah, this is really, really important. Gosh, I'm going to start crying right away. Yeah, so I hit rock bottom just recently. I've been suffering. I already need the Kleenex. I have been suffering with PTSD for decades. I didn't know that's what it was. I hit a very low point just recently. I couldn't even leave the RV. We were down in the Keys for a month. I maybe left the RV 3 times because I had too much anxiety just to walk out the door. I haven't been able to engage with our viewers in the past because of social anxiety. I would have anxiety about the anxiety that I knew I would have. There's a lot of people out there suffering and don't even know what it is. There were times where, because of the sensitivity to lights, sound, living in an RV is a challenge, or was a challenge for me. It became very overwhelming, and my body was in fight flight all the time. I had a very difficult time with sleeping, getting to sleep, waking up. I would spend 3 hours in the morning, 3 cups of coffee before I would even let Tom talk to me.
And it was progressively getting worse and worse.
Yeah. Living in an RV, you know, there's loud noises. Cabinets are made very cheap. They slam. They make a really high-pitched sound. And overhead lighting, there were so many things that my body felt attacked all the time. Logically, I could look at these things and think, oh, there's nothing wrong with that, but my body received it in a way that was threatening, and things were just progressively getting worse. Especially since more and more people were recognizing us everywhere we started going. You know, I started feeling paranoid, and I also think the harassed stuff exacerbated things, because there were constantly people out in our space looking through our stuff, taking pictures, and I think it just got worse at that point, because afterwards, anytime there was movement outside of the RV, I really struggled with that.
And so for the people out there that don't know what PTSD is, what is it, and who is normally diagnosed with that?
Usually it's mostly more commonly diagnosed with vets that have had a traumatic event overseas in the military. It's very common with people that had any kind of childhood trauma. That's my case. I won't go into any details, but it was ongoing trauma. And when you're a child trying to develop, you store different things in your brain differently. You don't learn, it's called developmental delays. You actually don't learn the way you're supposed to. It affects the executive part. It affects the executive lobe of the brain. I don't know what the lobe is called. Frontal prefrontal cortex, I think. But it affects, memory, being able, like planning, being able to logically think through things. I actually have a list, and I took a screenshot so I could talk about that more.
And again, we are sharing Cheri's story today because there's a solution to this, and she's completely changed in like a couple hours of this specialized therapy, which we're going to get to. And it is nothing short, again, of like a miracle.
Yes.
So, but we want to give you the backstory so you really understand what this is,
and also raising awareness, because there's a lot of people living with this that don't even know that's what it is. There were several times where I questioned, like, because of the sensitivity to light and sound, do I have some kind of autistic? Like, am I on the spectrum? And I actually went online and I took an autism spectrum test, and I tested positive for Asperger's. And then I've questioned, like, do I have OCD? Do I have narcissism? I know bipolar disorder is often misdiagnosed, and it's really PTSD, which what I have been through, it can heal all of that, and within 90 minutes. And I'm going to share more about that. But the executive function of the brain is proficiency in adaptable thinking, planning, self-monitoring, self-control, working memory, time management, and organization. I have struggled my entire life as an adult. Can't open mail, can't make phone calls, I can't do adult things, and it's very debilitating. Just trying to function through life, and nobody should struggle like this. I've struggled privately for so long, but I feel like it's so important that I share this message, because now that I've been healed, I look back and I'm like, how did I survive that? And Tom has been so incredibly supportive, and this, I literally had my healing 12 days ago. And if you have any of these symptoms, look into it. The type of PTSD I had is called c-ptsd. It's not an official diagnosis yet, but it's moving in that direction because so many people have it. So read the symptoms about that. This organization helps vets, firefighters, police, EMS, healthcare workers, or if you previously worked any of those, they will do it for free.
Yeah.
I qualified for free because I worked EMS and in the ER for 8 years or more. And and this was back in the 90s, so it doesn't have to be recent either. Apparently when you have childhood trauma, you live on adrenaline, and adrenaline is the only thing that makes you feel alive. Your body only feels alive in fight flight. So you keep searching for that, and you keep doing things to have that surge of adrenaline to feel alive, because you dissociate when you have PTSD. You just check out of a conversation. You can't engage with people. You can't remember what they said. The struggles are vast. And the C in c-ptsd, it stands for complex, and it is very complex. It affects so many different parts of your brain. It really is incapacitating. You can't function well like a normal adult.
And it doesn't just impact you, it impacts all of your relationships.
Everybody, yes. I've even looked back in my past and thought, taking responsibility for my part in anything that I may have contributed to.
So if you don't qualify to do this for free, it's only $220 for other people if you qualify as somebody that could benefit from this program. And again, we're talking about just 90 minutes compared to maybe years of therapy, and there's no drugs with this. You don't even have to remember the specific instances that were troubling you.
It's not like talk therapy. They even say they don't want you to talk about it. You don't talk about, you will have to think about it so you can address it in your mind. And they have a way of going through color, black and white scenarios. It puts it in a different part of the brain. You recreate your story, and to me, it felt like that was too simple. It couldn't have worked. But wow, it's changed my life. I feel like a different person. I feel like my life has just begun. The first test that I was put through was going to this RV Tampa show. And we had 3.5 hours of meet and greet with our viewers. And I have to tell you, I was in tears a couple times because it was so amazing. And I told Tom, I was like, it was the first time I actually felt all the love. I've never felt so much love that you guys poured out on us.
Yeah, it was incredible, and I wanna share that you were also in tears about this before you got this, but it was in the bad way.
Yes.
You were literally not going to even go.
I wasn't even going to go.
I was like,
go. I can't do it. I need to take care of myself.
Right. You were not ready to face that many people wanting to see us. And
Day 5 after my treatment, I was there meeting all of you and excited to get out there and meet all of you and excited to engage. I was able to focus on conversations, which I couldn't do before. I was able to engage, remember what you said, and feel the connection that I had never felt before because I'm not busy in my mind having anxiety. And what were they just saying? I don't know, because I was dissociating, and it was just like this big crazy mess in my head. And now it's like I have the energy and I'm present and I feel the connection with you guys. So even somebody commented on our Facebook page, like, I didn't mean to make you cry, but it wasn't bad.
Tears of joy.
You didn't make me cry. It was tears of joy. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful.
Yeah.
It feels so different. I'm getting up before Tom now, making the coffee, and I'm sometimes on my second cup by the time he gets up, and I'm ready to talk, and we're making plans, and we're...
It's such a shift for me to wake up later than her, and good morning, honey. And you're like, good morning, excited, like ready to take on the day. And yeah, you don't require as much sleep. You know, you're getting like 7 hours of sleep and you're like ready. You get up excited to take on the day. And
well, some of the struggles that I've had with this, and why a lot of people with PTSD might turn to drugs or alcohol or other addictions or end up homeless. My struggle was alcohol. I was drinking too much and I couldn't control it. It was like something had taken over me. But when you have PTSD, you can't sleep. So you're dealing with all this stuff and you need something to sleep. And it is literally debilitating. It's very difficult. So last year I went on actually a few years ago, I started trying to quit drinking, and I was unable to do it for a couple of years. And then last year I was able to cut back a lot, but now it's like I have zero. I don't even want it. I've had struggles with food. I've had food addiction. That was my comfort, and I've struggled with my weight my entire life. And I went on a trek to lose weight last year, and we discovered that through fasting, and we will talk more about that in the future. But I've been on a journey of finding my joy. And this organization, I mean, we're busy packing and traveling, but we're like, we have to get this information out. We have an update for Logan. I noticed symptoms in him that were similar to mine. I learned that the mother shares the nervous system with the fetus, and that's all we can think of why I don't know what triggered it, but he also got the treatment, and I want to read what he said.
Yeah, and thank you again for all of your questions about Logan. A lot of people at the Tampa RV show, but also in viewer comments have asked.
Or always asking, and I always say thank you so much for asking. And they thought he had a sleeping disorder. He said because he would sleep almost 24 hours a day, and it would go on for weeks, and chronic tiredness other than that. And he's had sleep studies at Mayo Clinic, and it's just been, he tried this drug, see this psychotherapy, he's tried everything. And then I sent him to my therapist that healed me of PTSD, and this is what he said. I used to live almost 100% negative thoughts. The only thing that would help is watching a movie or sleeping. Even then, I couldn't escape. Bad dreams. Now it's mostly positive or just neutral thoughts.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thrilled. It's changed his life. He said he's going out in the sunshine. And I mean, he never did that before. I'd always say, hey, well, you want to go out and get some sunshine? Because he always seemed really down and depressed. And so, yeah, he's getting out in the sunshine and he's just loving life now. And
you're getting ready to go see him.
I'm going to see him tomorrow.
It's his birthday coming up.
It's his birthday in a few days. So we're going to celebrate. We have a lot to celebrate.
What birthday is it?
26.
26. Okay.
26, my baby.
And I'm traveling the other direction, but more on that later. But it's not just your son. You actually sponsored your friend into this program.
One of the side effects I had from the PTSD, because my nervous system was so jacked up, it's called CRPS. It's a rare neurological disorder. It causes pain in your body. It's kind of like phantom pain. There's nothing there to have pain. I actually lost some function in my hand. I've noticed some pictures lately of hugging people. My hand looks like a claw. That's what it is. I don't have full function of it. CRPS. I haven't talked much about this stuff in the past just because I don't want to feel like I'm attention seeking or want people to feel sorry for me. It's just, it has been an internal struggle and something I've struggled with for a long time. And it's so important that I have to share this with all of you. So I have a friend that was, we actually relocated to get my CRPS treated, and it did help. We relocated for 3 months into Arkansas. A friend of mine that I met there also was RVing. We were parked right next to each other, getting the same treatment every day for a couple months, few months, I don't even remember now. But I sent her there. She had her treatment yesterday.
Yeah, we're talking like a little over 24 hours ago, right?
Oh, yeah. This was yesterday. Yes, a little over 24 hours ago. She struggling with CRPS, fibromyalgia. It manifests in so many different ways. If you didn't process that trauma, it will become a physical disease or disorder. So I got this text from her just a few minutes ago. She goes, OMG, exclamation mark. I haven't had this much energy in years, maybe ever. And more smiles today than I've had in years for sure. My friends say they can visibly see a difference in me. I'm so grateful to you for giving me this amazing, life-changing gift, my sweet friend. I love you.
Yeah, I am blown away by that. I keep saying miraculous, and I know there's a lot of stuff out there that has a lot of promises that don't work, but how 3,600 people have gone through this?
3,800.
3,800. You know what the
success rate is? 100%.
Can you believe that?
And if I have spent months now researching therapy for PTSD because it was coming to a head and I knew I needed to address it. There's a book that I got called Complex PTSD From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Very good book. First chapter in, I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh, that's me too. Oh my goodness, that's me. And I realized all these things that I thought, oh, it's just a quirk or an annoyance in my personality or what. It's PTSD. So that's a great resource if you want to learn more about it, if you suspect that you may have it, or a family member or a loved one, a friend. Also, The Body Keeps the Score is great because your body does hold on to trauma. Great information in there. And Waking the Tiger by Peter Levine. So those are 3 resources that I recommend if you want to learn more about this. They also talk about somatics and different ways to like help your nervous system. But then I've found probably over 50 different kinds of therapy to help, drugs, therapies. And I just kept doing my research because nothing was really resonating with me. And then I discovered this and I thought, I'm going to try that. Wow. It has changed my life. And I just want to share it with everyone because it is a new nonprofit and they don't have a lot of marketing, and
And they have over 100 people available right now. They actually want us to send people there.
Yes.
So we're like, tell them, are you guys ready?
Are you ready?
Ready to help people? And we know and why it's so urgent for us to get this out right now and not a fancy editing and stuff like that, because you guys need the information, because we literally know that minutes or hours can make a difference in somebody's life, because some of the symptoms are suicidal thoughts,
yes,
right?
Every second matters. So if you know anybody that could benefit from this, please don't hesitate to send them this information. This could save their life. Yes, I was telling Tom, and I never talked about this to anyone, but because it's so important, I was telling Tom that I had what was called passive suicidal ideation. It wasn't active. Active is like you're planning it and you really want to die. Passive is like, life is not worth living. This is too hard. I can't do this anymore. And it's just a very, very low place to be in. And I told him about having intrusive thoughts. He's like, you don't want to die, but then you have these thoughts in your head. We'd be driving down the highway and something in my head would just show me this vision to open the car door and just jump. But it's like, and so you don't want to do that. So you're fighting these thoughts. It's exhausting. Even though you don't want to act on them, there are intrusive thoughts. In fact, as I was going through this therapy and creating my new life story, it was like whatever was inside of me was fighting this healing, and it didn't want to leave. And it put more thoughts in my head, and it ruined my story. And so I had to stop and tell my therapist, I'm having intrusive thoughts. And she said, it's okay. It's very common to start over. And I did. You have to do the visualization correctly or it won't work. So it's important that you do, if you do seek this therapy, that you get the visualization right.
And visualizing is basically just closing your eyes and thinking about a scene in your mind, and you can do it, trust me. So, and again, one session for most people.
One session, that's it.
And what is the name of the organization?
It's called 220, that's a 22zero.org.
And we will put that link down below. Again, we are not connected with them in any way, shape, or form. We just want to help save as many lives as possible, and not just, somebody not killing themselves, but it's being alive. I mean, our channel is
feeling alive.
Yes.
Feeling joy.
Yes, our channel is EnjoyTheJourney.Life. That is enjoying your entire life, the ups and the downs, and being able to deal with difficult things, which you couldn't deal with difficult things before.
No. I lived in a state of frustration all the time. And I laughed the other morning because it was the first or second morning after my therapy, and I spilled a whole cup of coffee that I just fixed all over the counter. And I looked at it. I stopped and I looked at it, and I saw it differently. My perception of everything has changed. I looked at it and then I just laughed. I even took a picture because I was like, this is crazy. I feel so different. When we were setting up here and he's putting these huge, I wish you could see how bright these lights are. They used to really bother me, and I had a really difficult time recording everything. And he turned and I was like, wow, that's great.
Yeah, you used to stay up in the bedroom with the lights off for hours of the day.
And it's one reason why people may seem depressed because they're in a dark room, but it's like the attack of lights is too much. It was just too much. I couldn't handle it.
And the really cool thing about this therapy, or they call them coaches, I believe, is that there's this huge range of, again, things you might be diagnosed with, and you may have gone to multiple therapists and taken different medications that haven't helped, but it is worth contacting this organization to see if you qualify for it and have any of these symptoms. I think you think that most anybody would actually benefit from this.
I do. Well, I feel like a lot of people have everybody has some kind of trauma they've dealt with in their lives, whether it's, a divorce, a car accident, a broken bone. I mean, that's all life trauma. And if you don't process that trauma correctly, it stays and manifests disease and disorder in your body. And then, so whatever you may have going on could be caused from a prior trauma. It doesn't necessarily mean it's PTSD, but absolutely everybody should, seek out any kind of therapy for whatever emotional trauma you've had that you may not have processed completely.
And why is the organization called 22-0?
Because 22 vets a day commit suicide, and they want to bring it to zero. And they can with this.
Yeah, that is just a horrifying statistic, and we're so grateful to our veterans. Thank you so much for serving all of us. And EMS, emergency medical
healthcare,
services,
police,
and everything that's gone on the last couple of years. So much trauma. Right now, this can help people and, again, save years of another kind of therapy that may or may not work.
And it's expensive or insurance won't cover. And I plan on taking the course to learn how to treat others. I want to be able to give back. I have a huge passion about this because nobody should live one more second with this.
And we want those of you out there, some of you also are looking for a way to serve, and maybe you already have some kind of therapy practice. You may want to join Cheri in this training to become someone that's able to serve others, because our hope is that this video and this podcast reaches so many people in need that this organization will find the need for more people and more training, and we can reach more and more people together. In fact, again, the website's down below, and if you want to, you can also just donate to support the organization, because we plan on giving them some growing pains.
Yes.
Don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
We're like, we need to blow the lid off of this.
Yes.
When you find something, again, that, how many times can I say miraculous in this, that just works. It just works.
It just works. It's something so simple about it, but the way it makes it store different information in different parts of the brain, and it's incredible.
Like reprogramming a computer, right?
It is. And I feel like this is the beginning of my life, because I've been so debilitated for decades. And here I am feeling so amazing. I'm able to give love and receive love in such a profound way that I never have before.
Right. I mean, a huge difference in our relationship and in our ability to work together. And I mean, I'm speechless, and I'm usually the one talking a lot about this.
And we also sent another vet that we met at the show. We got in a conversation. He mentioned vet, and then it was an opportunity to talk about it, and he's like, actually, I could use that. And
he's going tomorrow.
He has an appointment tomorrow. Yes.
Right.
And it's all done on Zoom. It's all online. You don't have to go anywhere.
Is it, again, can I say miraculous one more time?
Yes, sure.
So
it is.
I just urge you to, again, share this video on any kind of social media, because I don't know what the statistic is. Do you know what it is? How many people suffer from this in some form?
It's becoming more and more common, especially people realizing it at my age. I'm 52, going to be 53 soon. But I'm in the groups on Facebook for complex trauma or complex PTSD, CPTSD, or just PTSD. And there are people more and more joining these groups saying what ages they are. They just figured it out. And I think that there's going to be more and more, because with the pandemic going on, I think things are coming to a head. And I think also at my age, hormones play a part in, how you behave, react, feel. And I feel like that also brought it to a head as well. all these different things at play, but I'm so grateful. I feel like the challenge that I've had in my life has been a gift. I feel like it's been a gift because of where I am right now. I can look back on my life and just be so grateful, and now I can help change other people's lives.
And how young of an age have they treated with this?
I don't know. I do know on the website they said they treated, I think it was like 88 children, and it worked for them 100%.
And as if you've watched the news lately, we're finding out that because of the pandemic, a lot of children are suffering from this as well. So we don't know, but if you have a child, you might as well ask if this is something they would qualify for, because wow, what kind of a difference would that make had this been caught earlier?
Wow. I feel like I could have done so much more in my life. I do. I could have loved more. I could have been more productive. I could have, gosh, just the basics, making phone calls. And my mom always thought, well, what's wrong? Why you don't make a phone call? Why are you always late everywhere you go? Because life was difficult. I struggled in school. I've struggled in everything in life. Just going to the grocery store, overhead lights, all the sounds. It's like, it's too much anxiety. It was just really difficult. And I also want to mention, I've seen where a lot of people say that also child neglect, being bullied in school, these are all things that can cause it. So I urge you to look into it. If you even have the slightest thought that you may have this, because you deserve an amazing, happy life.
Again, the website is 220.com. We will put the link. Oh. Again, the website is 220.org. That link will be down below. So please, again, share this video and let's together make a really huge difference.
Let's change the world.
And thank you for watching or listening to this. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.